What's up everyone, my name's Chris and today I'm going to take my assembly table and turn it into an outfeed table from a new table saw. So the first problem is that the table is too high for the table saw. So from the top of the table saw to the top of the work table is 4 inches. So I think we're going to cut 4 1/8 inches off of the bottom of the legs so that the top of this will sit right below the top of the table saw. The second problem is that the table is just too big. It's 4 foot by 4 foot, so I just want to keep it to 3 feet, I think. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure out 3 feet, which is here, and cut a foot off, and then have that right behind the table saw. So the first thing I need to do is take off this vise. Alright, I got that done, but I can't get the vise hardware off from the bottom. It's just too close to the support of the table to get a socket. So I'm going to go ahead and take the top of the table off and then turn it upside down to get the hardware off, and then I'll make a cut down to 3 feet. I just had a bunch of L brackets holding the top on, so it wasn't nothing to get them off. And just pay no attention to this big hole right here. I didn't really know what I was doing when I put that vise on. This is the better side, so I'm going to cut 3 feet this way on the table saw and then turn the whole table this way so that the vise can be back here behind the table, and I can still use it as an assembly table. And just a story about this table. This was like the first thing I made officially as a woodworker when I started woodworking in 2012. So alright, flipped it back over and I'm going to measure out. What I'm going to do is cut it a little bit over 3 feet and then turn it around and make the cut on the other side exactly to 3 feet on the table saw, because I know this table is not square at all. I'm not really sure why I'm measuring this out. It seems like I could just set the table saw fence to just over 3 feet and that would work. Alright, so I flipped it back over because there's no point in marking it if I could just set my fence. But what I do want to check is to make sure that there's no screws in the way whenever I do cut it. So 36.5 inches is right here, so this is right in between a row of screws, so I'm going to be good. So once I make that cut, then I'll make the other cut on this edge and square that up. Oh gosh. Okay, now that that's done, I need to come back here to the table and take off each one of the stretchers that are running this way and cut off enough of them so that the measurement from the front of this leg to the back of this leg is 33 inches. I want there to be a 3-inch overhang on the front so they can sit on the lip of the back of the table saw.
You know I was in the picture?
Yeah.
Did you say?
I bet you I glued it. What is still holding this one in there?
This one left right there.
Oh, I bet you I know. This piece was blocking some screws in here. I'm basically going to have to just disassemble this whole thing, and it's just a little more complicated than I wanted it to be. Oh well. Okay, so that ended up being a little more difficult than I thought it would be. I basically almost disassembled the whole table just to get those stretchers off. So there's 2 sides. There's the pieces that I took off. Each one of those stretchers, I figured it out, I need to cut about 15.5 inches off of each one of them. So I'm just going to disassemble the whole rest of the table, and the table legs I'll cut 4 inches, a little more than 4 inches off of each one of them, and then I'll be ready to assemble everything back together. Alright, there's all the stretchers cut in half. Well, not in half, but I cut 15.5 inches off of them. So I'm going to cut the legs down. And I figured the best way to do that would be the table saw, because that'll make sure that I can get all the legs the exact same length. I don't yet have a cross-cut sled or a table saw sled yet, so I'm going to use the miter gauge and the fence with a block clamped on the end. Alright, so now I've got all the pieces cut, and the rest of this is going to be pretty straightforward. Just got some drywall screws here. I'm going to replace all of the wood screws because they were all stripped out, and then I'll be ready to put the table up behind the table saw. Yeah, probably not the best way to do this, but Okay, so I've turned the table upside down. I'm going to attach the legs this way because the other way apparently was not working out. Now I know these two screw holes are stripped out, so I'm going to pre-drill some new ones. That'll do for now. I'll go all the way around and then I'll attach the supports and then I'm ready to flip it over. You ready? I'm going to hold it. Remember, you put your body weight onto it. Pull the button, but not too much. Hold it straight like that. Oh, don't.
I sort of want to put this nail in place.
Alright, just got 2 pieces left. 2 more braces and then we can turn it upside down. Or turn it right side up.
What? Body.
Okay, I'm ready to flip this thing over.
Not impressive.
What? Why you say that? Okay, now I'm going to at least put the table where it goes. That was very awkward. That was very That'll be just fine. All I'm using to attach the top are several of these L brackets because it's plywood on the top, so it's not like it's gonna shift or move. Well, I'll just do it on the ground. Oh gosh, can't even get up. Oh, that was a very awkward position to be in. That's it. Got the top one and it's ready to go, so I'm very excited about this. Alright, so I went the extra step and put the vise in just to have that done. So let's push it up where it goes and see how it's going to work.
9 inches and 33 feet.
Alright, so that'll do it. There you are. Obviously I got to get some stuff for the bottom. My garage floor, first of all, is not level. And then second of all, I want to make sure it's level with the table saw. So that's all I got left to do. So anyway, thanks for checking it out, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Alright, I said I was done, but I went ahead and went the extra step and installed my vise. Just to be done with it. I ain't got to worry about it. Hey. Y'all can't talk when I'm recording. You can't talk when I'm recording. You guys are in the shot. You're in the shot. You're in the shot.
Nora, you're in the middle.
Nora, you're in the shot.